Thank you, whoever just reminded me. Recording, yes, so we are recording this. I'm just going to do that again really quick. So I'm the president of the United States Trager Association. We're so thrilled to have Deane. And so he's sought after, huge presenter all over the world. And this is kind of a practice run for us in a way, getting used to this technology with the way of the world of all being video streamed and us in our houses at the moment in this 2020 year. So I am going to hand it over to Deane, and we will have questions at the end. So we will save all our questions. It's going to run.
You might want to have a piece of a notepad by your side to jot down questions so you don't forget them.
There you go. Yeah, and I'll let you do any logistical things you want to say, Deane. And I just want to say I'm so thrilled you're doing this. I'm honored to be able to provide this support for you because you are just wonderful. So the show is yours now.
Okay, well, thank you and welcome everybody. This presentation will be brisk. It's a little over 30 slides, but it is recording, and that recording will be available to all of you. As Linda said, we'll have time for questions and answers at the end. And I also want to say as we get started, we'll be following up this presentation with 3 study groups to further discuss concepts I'll be presenting and any other questions you would like me to address. They will all be on Thursdays, the next 3 Thursdays at this time. That's 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 Eastern Standard Time. So I'm ready, so let's get started. So the title I've chosen for today is Psycho-Physical Integration, some basic neuroscience of touch and movement organization, and talking about how we transform stuck to fluid, restricted to free, and emotional angst to peace. And what I hope you'll also gain from this presentation and the recording is how we can language for ourselves, for our clients, and for our classes and the public we want to reach, the scientific basis of movement and how Trager affects movement and reorganizes movement and changes a life. So it's all about the fluid. It's all about the waves. It's all about the water. The body is an aquatic ecosystem. And the thing about our muscular habits is that muscles can either be pumps that are working through this aquatic system that we are. That yellow line seems to be on all slides. I have no idea where that came from, but Richard just suggested that might be Milton's way of joining. Yeah, so our goal is to open up muscles that are caught in chronic restriction and creating tourniquets on the flow of our circulation and our intercellular fluids and delivery of all nutrients to all cells. And the waves and the shimmers and the ripples and the bounces of those packages of fluid that make us up is all about our being able to catch the wave, the bounce back of the wave as we're introducing movement to those fluid packages and perpetuating that wave further and further out into the extremities of the body. So all our circulation, all of our intercellular fluid is able to function as our basic energy source and metabolic processes. Here is a very much more closer look. What you're seeing here in the middle of the slide is a capillary with its red blood cells. Behind the capillary system you're seeing is our muscle cells. And everything in between this capillary circulatory tubing and the muscle cells that the circulation is providing glucose and oxygen for all their metabolic needs and activities. All of this space is intercellular fluid. And this is one of the most important fluid constituents of our body. The muscles back here don't get any benefit of the oxygen and other nutrients that are flowing through the circulatory system until those molecules of oxygen, glucose, and other components migrate across the capillary wall and out into this intercellular fluid. And it is the intercellular fluid that finally delivers oxygen and glucose and other biochemicals to the muscle cells that are waiting for that energy. So I want to say one other thing about the fluid movement through this system. It's simply true that if our body or any parts of our body are not open to motion and open to these rhythmic waves and open, the tourniquets have opened up to pumps, what we're trying to do with our shimmers and our liquid movements is stimulate all this tissue into movement so that it can be felt by the client's mind, so that sensory awareness starts to open up. So every shimmer, every ripple, every wave we send through all this tissue is exciting nerve ends. And it's the excitation of those nerve ends that deliver sensory information to the spinal cord and the brain. And that sensory information is absolutely primary for feeling your body as a whole, feeling pieces and parts, and the pieces and parts that aren't moving freely and liquidly are not generating that little wave motion through the tissue. And if the wave motion is not going through the tissue, then sensation is substantially muted. So it's all about getting this juice moving, shimmering, moving, both with the passive movements on the table, the self-generated mentastics, and all activities that our clients will be engaging in once they leave our office space. Why is unrestricted movement and what I call muscular intelligence, that is changing the muscles from tourniquets to pumps, so crucial to our well-being as a whole? Just to recap, the body is an aquatic ecosystem. We're between 70 and 80% water. Muscular patterns can either be pumps or tourniquets. Are our fluids moving, or are they held in stagnant pockets by chronic muscular tension and habituated patterns? Are we a babbling brook, or are we a swamp where liquid just pools and standing liquid always generates pestilence? This is how toxins get built up in our body, because the areas that are restricted to movement are not releasing all of that metabolic waste material back into the venous return and the lymphatic return system to be circulated, cleaned, and replenished. Are all the areas of our body open to sensory awareness? Are we in our body? Do we feel our body, both as a totality and all of its little pieces and parts? This is so important. All physiology, all biochemistry, and all of our metabolic processes for all 6 trillion cells in there relies on this free circulation. When it is clamped or compromised and distribution is not happening freely, all those 6 trillion cells or any particular area of those cells is being starved. So blood circulation and nourishment to the cells is of primary importance. The movement of intercellular fluids is the final delivery system for all those all that biochemistry. The lymphatic uptake of blood serum, circulation, and immune defenses through our lymphatic system rely crucially on the actions of muscles and the movement of tissue. There is no heart for the lymphatic circulatory system.